Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Dejana, and today I'm going to recreate a video idea that I did 3.5 years ago now. So in 2017 I made a video called Foundation Battle where I, well, as you can hear by the name, battled two foundations against each other and applied one on each side on my face. And that video is actually still to this day my most watched video on my channel. So why not make something similar when I know that you enjoy watching it? So in this video I'm going to battle out my two most used foundation sticks. So one of them is the MaxFactor Pan Stik. This is a really old classic, but is still to this day really loved by a lot of people. And its contestant is the BareMinerals Complexion Rescue Hydrating Foundation Stick with SPF 25. I think I got the name right. I think it's important for you to know what kind of skin type I have and stuff like that, because then you know what kind of base I'm applying these foundations on. So I mostly have normal skin with an occasionally oily T-zone, but most of all my skin is really sensitive. So as you can see, I have some redness and some pimples because my face really reacts really easily to products because it's so sensitive. But mostly normal, but with a little bit of an oily T-zone. So the MaxFactor Pan Stik only comes in 9 shades. The one I'm going to use today is 12 True Beige, and it contains 9 grams of product, which is 0.32 ounces. It costs around $9 US, 6 pounds, or around 80 Swedish crowns. Because I live in Sweden, I'm going to have Swedish crowns also as a reference. It claims to have full coverage with a dewy finish and is suitable for normal skin. The BareMinerals one, on the other hand, comes in 20 shades. The shade I have is 02 Vanilla, and it contains 10 grams of product, or 0.35 ounces. It costs $33 US, 29 pounds, or 455 Swedish crowns. It claims to have a medium but buildable coverage, a radiant finish, and is suitable with all skin types, but is good for dry skin. So as you can hear, they have some similarities. For example, the claims of the coverage is similar and the finish being dewy or radiant, but the major differences are the price, the amount of shades, and also the BareMinerals one is vegan, cruelty-free, and has an SPF of 25, which the MaxFactor Pan Stik doesn't. Now let's zoom in even more and battle them out. I wanted to show you the difference between the shades before applying them because they are quite different, but I can make both of them work for me. So the Pan Stik, as I said, I have in 12 True Beige, and it looks like this. And the BareMinerals Complexion Rescue I have in 02 Vanilla. The Complexion Rescue is a lot more peachy, and the Pan Stik is more of a yellow undertone. So I usually think the Pan Stik works better for me, so I should buy the Complexion Rescue in a more yellow toned shade. But I'm going to start with the Pan Stik on my right side, and I'm going to do 3 stripes. 1 on the chin, 2 on the forehead, and 1 on the side of my nose. And for stick foundations, I love using the Real Techniques sculpting brush because it's super dense and it has synthetic fibers, which makes it blend out stick foundations really nicely. So I'm just going to buff that in, and if you're wondering, I don't have any primer on because I want to see the difference between how much these foundations fill in pores, or yeah, how they just lay on the skin without any help of a primer. I just have my usual skincare underneath. So this is with 1 layer of the Pan Stik compared to nothing, and as you can see, it definitely neutralized my redness, but I feel like it's just a medium coverage now, not a full coverage as it claims. But overall my skin looks a lot smoother, like it fills out lines and pores and stuff like that, and as I said, neutralized my redness. So this is how that one looks with 1 layer. Then I'm just quickly cleaning my brush off so that there's no product left on it before I go in with the Complexion Rescue. So exactly the same amount of this foundation on this side, 3 stripes on the cheek, 1 little one on the chin, 1 on the side of my nose, and 2 on the forehead. And this is how one layer of the BareMinerals Complexion Rescue looks like. So actually at this point, I feel like they look really similar. The only thing that is a noticeable difference is when you apply them, because the BareMinerals Complexion Rescue is kind of known for its unique feeling when you apply it, because it contains a lot of water. So it's definitely like it feels cold and wet when you apply it, and the pan stick feels more creamy and I want to say oily, but not in a bad way, just creamy. But the look of them with one layer, pretty similar. So now let's go in with one more layer on both sides, the same amount as before. So here you have both foundations applied with 2 layers, so the MaxFactor Pan Stik and the BareMinerals Complexion Rescue. And actually I've been looking at my face up close in my mirror, and they are so much more similar than I thought and than they like feel, because when you apply them they feel different. Like the pan stick feels, it's really hard to explain, it feels almost drier but still creamy, and the Complexion Rescue from BareMinerals feels more wet and yeah, just more wet and powdery, but also really slippery and creamy. So yeah, they just feel very different when you apply them to your face. And also, as I said, the shades are quite different, but when they are on my face I feel like they neutralize like a little bit, so they look quite similar on my face. But yeah, they look so similar. Both sides really look like skin and have a naturally dewy finish. The only thing that I noticed is here in my wrinkle and my forehead, the BareMinerals Complexion Rescue has like settled much better. It doesn't emphasize the line or anything like that. It just clings on a little bit to some dry patches here, for example, where I had a pimple before, but very slightly. But I think it's interesting because it's suited for like normal but also dry skin. So it clings a little bit more than the pan stick on dry areas, but the pan stick settles a bit more into the lines on my face. So that's the only little difference I can see right now. But I'm going to apply all my other skin products as I usually do, powder and stuff like that, but I'm not going to apply concealer because I really want to be able to see the difference between the coverage and stuff like that, only using the foundations and not adding more coverage with concealer. So I'm going to add powder, bronzer and everything like that and do an eye look. That's why I didn't apply anything on my eyelids, and then I'll be back to show you how it looks. Okay, so it's been a while and this is what my face looks like with the other makeup on. So as I said, I used everything except concealer. So I have powder, bronzer, blush, highlighter, setting spray, and of course something on my eyes and lips. You saw me apply 2 layers of the pan stick from MaxFactor here and 2 layers of the Complexion Rescue from BareMinerals on this side. And I can still barely tell a difference. I've been staring myself blind on my skin, and it's really hard with these two to see like a huge difference. Even though I think both sides look pretty identical, I feel like the products went over this side smoother and like got more pigmented, as if the Complexion Rescue is more creamy and like, I don't know, sucks in the product better. Because on this side that felt a little bit more like powdery when I applied it. Yeah, I feel like the products on top aren't as pigmented. I don't know if it's visible to the eye, it was just like a feeling while I was applying the makeup. Alex? What? Could you help me see if you can see any difference on my face? So I'm having an expert look at my face and see if he sees a difference.
Well, there's definitely some makeup on.
Yeah. Do you see like some big difference on either side? If you want to, you can stand over there so it's more even lighting. So I asked you before, like before I put on the powders and stuff, and then you thought that this side looked more like creamy and not as matte, and that you like this side better. But
I still like it better.
You still like this side better?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know, because the left one is so matte and unnatural.
Matte?
Yeah.
Matte. So Alex likes this side better because he thinks that this one looks more matte and unnatural. Did I hear you correctly?
Yes.
Thank you for your expertise. But those are my thoughts right now, and I would really love to know if you can see a difference between the sides and which one you prefer. Comment down below, or I can also put like a voting thing up here. But I will go about my day now, and then at the end of it I'm going to tell you which foundation I think won this battle. So see you in a bit. So I'm back, and this is what the foundations are looking like. It's been over 7 hours, I think more like 8 hours since I applied the foundations, and this is what they're looking like right now. As you can see, I'm quite a bit oilier and you can mostly see that around my nose and my nostrils on both sides. And I'm actually having quite a hard time deciding which side I like better, I guess, because they look really similar. As you can see, I'm basically as oily on both sides. I don't know if you can tell, but it has settled a little bit in my nostrils. It's really hard to show and there, but that has happened on both sides. Which side do you think looks better? Even though I can barely see a difference between the two sides, I do still have a favorite if I have to choose, and it is the BareMinerals one. Of course, I don't think that it's such a noticeable difference that it is worth 5 times the price of the MaxFactor Pan Stik, because they are so similar that it's like, why shouldn't you go with this much less expensive one? But I feel like the BareMinerals side looks more like creamy, and the pan stick has settled a little bit more in like dry areas, and it has worn off a bit on my pimples and stuff. But the BareMinerals one looks exactly the same on my crusty little pimples and stuff. And also the BareMinerals Complexion Rescue foundation stick has some like skincare properties, which the pan stick doesn't. And of course, as I said, this one is vegan and cruelty free, which is quite a huge deal. But if you don't like value that a lot, and if you're just looking to try a stick foundation, then I can like warmly recommend the MaxFactor Pan Stik, because for the price, I mean, they almost look identical on my face right now. So this time it was a really close battle, but as I said, if I'm choosing the winner, it's going to be the BareMinerals Complexion Rescue Hydrating Foundation Stick, only because it wears better and feels better on my face. The pan stick feels a little bit itchy. As I said, I have sensitive skin, but either way, I think you will be happy if you don't have oily skin. If you have oily skin and don't like when like your whole face looks like this, then pass on stick foundations overall. But if you have normal or leaning towards dry skin, I think you will really like something like this. But that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to comment down below which 2 foundations you would like to see in a battle. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!